This year's elections for the NFA Board of Directors is underway. John Lothian News spoke with several of the candidates, including CTA and Commodity Customer Coalition co-founder John Roe, elected to the board 2 years ago, pledging reform. Why are you running for re-election?
When I ran for election to the Board of Directors 2 years ago, we set out to accomplish a few things with respect to increasing customer protections and increasing regulatory efficiency. And 2 years just simply isn't enough time to get that done. I feel like we have a lot more to do at the NFA and a lot more to do in terms of our representation. So I'd like to ask CTAs to have me back for another couple of years to see if we can get some stuff done for them.
What changes will you be pressing for if you are elected to another term?
There was a huge push for CTA CPO capital requirements. We pushed back very hard against that. We rallied the membership to do the same. We held a town hall meeting to get folks more information on it and to let them ask questions to NFA's general counsel. And that process was great, but it also illustrated some weaknesses in terms of NFA's communication. Once the comment letters were submitted by the membership, it kind of went into a black hole. No one really knows what went on with the process. No one knows what other comment letters said. There wasn't really an update process. So we'd like to see a formalized comment letter repository online, as well as better communication on what's going on with those initiatives. Just like the prudential regulators publish their minutes, we think the NFA should publish board minutes, committee meeting minutes as a resource for its membership, so folks can go back in and see what went on, why it went on, what the certain rationale is for various rules and the processes that lead to rulemaking. We'd also like to see a revision in the election process of public directors. Every year NFA members get a letter in the mail with a ballot that says, please submit your nomination if you'd like to see someone nominated for public director. That process then goes to the executive board, which essentially slates candidates for the board to vote on. We think that process is too closely held and too divested from the membership. So we'd like to see a nominating committee created to nominate public directors, and we'd like to see those public directors stand for election from the membership at large. Also, we'd like to take a look again at the disclosure document process and the promotional material review process, which frustrates so many CTA CPO members. Once we delved into it, we discovered that the way the membership feels NFA treats their materials is the way NFA feels CFTC treats its review process, that it's arbitrary and capricious, that it focuses on minutia that's not very important. So what we'd like to do is take advantage of an audit that's going on right now between CFTC and NFA with the delegation of the disclosure document review process and get some of the complaints membership have had addressed with respect to how that promotional material gets reviewed, what gets reviewed, and whether or not it's important to focus on things like grammar and spelling in disclosure documents, or what's actually being disclosed.
Does the board do an adequate job of representing the entire membership of the NFA?
I think everybody needs representation. Obviously, if you're a large CTA, you have completely different issues that face you. If you're putting together very complicated investment vehicles, you have a totally different approach you take with regulation than a small firm, a single member firm, or a small firm that may not even have a designated compliance officer, certainly not a general counsel. I definitely represent more of those CTAs. I represent traders. My firm doesn't have a general counsel. We don't have in-house compliance. We outsource a lot of that, and I think most NFA firms do. There is no guarantee that smaller firms will be represented. There is no minority guarantee. So 80% of CTAs that are in the bottom half of, or the bottom 80% of assets under management might not have a representation in their category if this election goes a certain way. And I'm sure that the people that are running in those categories are eminently qualified to serve on the board of directors of the NFA. I'm just not sure that they represent the viewpoint of the traders, the Chicago's type firms, the smaller firms that are the bulk of NFA membership and who deal with regulation in a completely different manner. And I think that I represent those views.